Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Davo from Esports, bringing you a Starcraft 2 1v1 cast today. Awesome. This time it's a bit of a special one because this is a tournament cast. Oh yeah. You may notice that we are somewhat affiliated with the Fluid Team Gaming, and a real treat today is FluidSoul. Awesome, in a best of 3 versus mix. Now this is a Group C round 2. So it is in Group C, and obviously the round 2 of the UK Starcraft League, and this is the very first season. Aren't we excited? I know that we are. So here is Mr. FluidSoul himself, and here's the leader, if you like, of Team Fluid, and you may want to check them out. They are freaking awesome. They're very good guys. And in the top right hand corner today we have our pink Zerg playing in the pink, who goes by the name of Mix, and I may add that this is the same Mix who owns a Team Liquid stream, and he is 14 years of age. So there you go. Awesome. Both players doing a kind of a late good luck have fun. Not so bad there from Mix. Awesome. We'll just have to see what happens, won't we? Let's get the production tab up, as that is always useful. Just a quick shout out to the people who may be wondering where I've gone off my YouTube channel. Well, quite frankly, I've had university work to do. Oh, uni work, I hate it just as much as the next guy, but unfortunately I need to work towards a degree, so then I won't be able to get a job with it. So we do have Mix getting his spawning pool at what I can only presume was 13 supply. And I wonder if we will see him throw down a hatchery as well. It's perfectly possible. We do have him approaching up here with how many minerals? Soul will want to block this hatchery, of course. And it definitely looks like Mix is going for the hatchery placement. Is he going to get it? It's probably this drone that's going to become a hatchery. There is the hatchery going down right now. FluidSoul coming and expanding outside of his base right now, like Protoss do versus Zerg, and we will obviously see a block in across the front right here. Nothing missed by Mix. The Overlord sees all. Forge coming up first as well. Well, Forge coming up after Nexus first as well, and of course we will probably see that all-important photon cannon, and Soul might actually even get some weapons +1 pretty damn quickly. It's very well noted that Protoss players love to get fast weapons versus Zerg players. It's just something about it that makes Stalkers that much better against Roaches. It makes it slightly better for a Protoss player to deal with. Let's put it like that. So we do actually have Mix taking advantage of the fact that his opponent is blocking in. This is actually fairly common as well, as I'm sure many of you are aware, where we see a Zerg player double expanding as soon as our Protoss player blocks in. Now that's absolutely fine. Zerg hatcheries cost 300 minerals. They're pretty quick, you know, you can go out and pop one up, and the thing is, because Protoss is expanding like this, it means that he's not going to have a whole lot of stuff that quickly, especially seeing as he has gone for the photon cannon as well, which is of course the all-important photon cannon. We're probably going to see a Zealot slot in here and put on hold position in no time at all, just to make sure. See, there we are, it's rallied and everything. We do have a scouting probe coming up here to come and see what he can see. Now let's follow his epic journey. He sees the creep, he knows that there's an expansion there, second queen on the way, maybe a hint there's going to be a hatchery down here, but of course Soul already knows that. Soul already knows that, and we do have that early weapons coming out right now for Soul, and we also have the Warp Gate research, which is of course a very good idea to get as Protoss, and may I add, it's actually in quite a timely fashion for what he is doing here. So good play by Soul, good all-round good stuff. Both of our players today are high Masters League. I probably should have said that earlier, but you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sure someone out there will forgive me at one point. Now we do have Mix getting his gas down both at the same time. Now this could mean an array of things, and we'll pretty much just have to wait and see what actually happens. But of course it means that he's probably not going to stick with just Zerglings. Of course he will want to get the metabolic boost upgrade as soon as he can. And the drone's coming straight onto the gas. Nicely done. of course, creep spread starting as well, and that's something that we have seen Zerg do quite a lot more recently, and that is the very aggressive kind of creep spread, springing mainly from Zikdamini's play, who's, I believe, is also in this tournament at this point. I'm not quite sure. I know that he was at the Europe finals, but you know, we'll see how that pans out. Let's not say anything too hasty. Chrono boosting out a Stalker right here, probably to come and shoot down this Overlord, which will hurt Mix slightly, but I'm sure he's prepared for it, seeing as, well, let's face it, scouting Overlords don't have a great life expectancy because they're so fat and slow. Dear oh dear, he's going to go home and look in the mirror and cry after I said that. We do have a lair on the way, and of course that is the hallmark of greater things to come. Roaches coming out, so that does mean that we are going to see, well, roaches. That is the result of the gas. In any case, of course, roaches do help any transition into the late game for Zerg. And here we go, we do have these Zergs around here from Soul trying to do some sort of shenanigans. This is actually a fairly popular move by Protoss players to actually kind of influence their Zerg players to play a little bit more defensively, as you don't want the Zerg going all crazy macro style on your ass. And if Soul gets this queen down, it could be pretty big. It definitely looks like this queen is about to fall. These roaches popping just in time. Not fast enough, though, to save the queen. And it looks like this is going to get cleared up here down in the third base right here of Mix. Oh, is Soul going to get this queen as well? He is. That's a slight disaster for Mix, really. I mean, he'll really want those injects. So that is kind of panic stations right now. Pretty badly, and we do obviously have Mix remaking the queen. I think he was actually remaking it pretty much as soon as Soul began his attack. It's worth to point out. Also, Soul does have an observer on the way right now. One of these is a Dark Shrine. Here we are, a Dark Shrine. I could have clicked on that, it would have been a pylon, and that would have been quite embarrassing, but here we go. We do have a Dark Shrine on the way, so that does mean that perhaps we're going to see some really, really cool plays from Soul. And of course, Dark Templar can be horrible to deal with as any race, but we'll just have to see how Mix comes out of this. We do have Immortals on the way from Soul, which is obviously the commendable option, seeing as his opponent is going for roaches. I've just noted to myself in my head that I haven't actually introduced the mapware yet, but you know what? I'm sure that the people that are watching this are fairly seasoned at watching Starcraft, or they're fairly seasoned Starcraft players, and it's not going to take them long to figure out it's Daybreak. So there you go, the map is Daybreak. Awesome. Now, when I said earlier that I hoped that we'd see some crazy DT plays, I was actually talking about the Warp Prism DT plays, which I honestly had no idea that that was going to happen, but it does look like we're going to see an Immortal Warp Prism drop. And these things can be pretty nasty to deal with, especially if you're obviously not prepared for them. That is part of the reason why you would use a Warp Prism, so your opponent is not prepared, obviously. But we do have a big supply difference right now. We have 94 supply for Soul to 144 for Mix. So, I mean, Soul might want to step on his macro a tiny bit, but, you know, like, Zerg do have the ability to macro up very, very quickly. Indeed, Mix has clocked the Immortals straight away. Zergling straight on the case. That's the unit that he does want on the case. Also, Zealot's coming in right now. Lots of Zerglings there coming straight in. The Immortals getting straight back out. And, oh, the Warp Prism goes down. The 5+ range there probably helping Mix. Well, definitely helping Mix on the green there. Oh, dear. Also, we do have an Overseer on the way, so I think Mix may have clocked the fact, or he hasn't seen the Dark Shrine. Well, he has seen the Dark Templar that is hacking away. I will put the dual screen on that in the post-production. Oh, yeah. And we will see them come in. Excellent. And there we go, the DT does go down. Never to slice away with his side blade ever again. Poor guy. 2+ weapons on the way now for Soul, which of course will help his DTs further do more and more damage. I think he just attacked something. Don't know, I really shouldn't have clicked away like that when I did, because I didn't get to see what it was. We have an observer here right in the back, just in the right place, not to be too intrusive, and you've got to wonder if Mix will ever see it. I mean, if this Overseer moves a little bit to his right, he may very well see it. We do have a Mix moving out right now with his Zergling speeds, with Zerg armor +1, Zerg ranged weapons +1 will be finished by the time he gets there. Roach speed is done. It's all looking pretty funky, and it does actually look like we're just going to have a pretty mean Roach push now from Mix. If we look at the composition of Soul, he's got a lot of sentries. If he can use the force fields to manipulate his opponent's army well enough, we could have a fight on our hands here. Oh, there we go. That was a terrible thing that I just did with the casting. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sorry. Blummenek, he says. I was trying to get the menus down. Why isn't that working? Have they changed the control for that? They may have changed the control for that. Okay. I mean, I used to use Control W to bring all the menus and stuff down, but not anymore, I suppose. Anyway, moving swiftly on. We do have our engagement kind of fluttering around right now from Mix. He doesn't want to come up this choke here. That is the last place he wants to engage, especially seeing as Soul has so many sentries. That is something that, well, nobody wants to move up that ramp, do they? When your Protoss opponent has sentries, these rocks are in the perfect position to just allow one force field to block off half your army from the other. I mean, Mix does have Burrow, but I think Soul's got an Observer somewhere in his army. And here we go. We have another fight on our hands. Oh, and Mix just testing the water every time he goes in. And you know what? I don't think he likes the temperature of this particular water. It's kind of a lukewarm bathtub sort of water for him. He's not sure. His opponent has a very nice mix here of Colossus and Stalkers. His weapons upgrades are great. I mean, if Mix holds on for any longer, his opponent's +3 is going to be done, and that will just be pretty terrifying for these Roaches to deal with. I mean, they do not want to come in on that. An aggressive blink forward by Soul just there, and it does look like Mix is going to be using that Roach speed to just run away while Soul blinks at him. Oh my goodness. So actually a pretty close game here at the 17-minute mark. Nice blink forward again by Soul, just taking out as many Roaches as he can. If he could get hit. Oh no, there are Infestors on the field, and the Infestors are going to fungal growth this group of Stalkers hit, and they are going to go down very, very quickly indeed. The Roaches bringing the Stalkers, and in fact most of Soul's army, just back into the trap, which is the Infestors. Meanwhile, we have seen an expansion here from Mix as well, keeping nicely ahead of FluidSoul, but Soul hot on the heels with another expansion as well. We do have Soul moving around right here. He is going to want to play a little bit more defensively as soon as he sees those Infestors on the field. That is the right thing to do. Pull back, play defensively, especially if the Zerg player is getting Neural Parasite. You do not want him taking control of these Colossus. That is a terrifying thing indeed. FluidSoul does actually have a mothership on the way. Oh, there we go. Nexus beaming in the mothership. A Chrono Boost or two could get thrown down on that Nexus, but you know what? This is an intense situation right here. Hive Tech just finished for Mix with a Spire at the same time, which would clearly indicate that we are going to see Broodlords in this game later on, seeing as the Spire has gone down at the same time as the Hive Tech research has been established. Psystorm on the way as well. I like this play from Soul indeed. And here we go. We do have a really, really big run by Mix here to try and destabilize his opponent, get in there and kill as many probes as he can. And it does actually look like he's going to get away with quite a few probe kills. Let's have a quick look at this. Right, so he only got 3 probe kills there, but we do have another group of Zerglings right here who are going to be terrorizing Soul's third base right here, and they are going to go in and kill off these probes. I know that Soul has noticed this. He pulls his entire army back to come and deal with this. I mean, it is a pretty hairy situation, but Soul has locked it down with virtually no issues. I mean, he did lose a few probes back there. He lost 11, kind of evening up the workers killed count right there. Kind of kind of bringing that more into his favour, but I mean, he is going to want to do something. I mean, Mix has got his Great Aspire on the way right now. Corruptor's on the way, especially in anticipation to get those very powerful Broodlords, and we do have the Mothership out right now. So I mean, at this point in time, if Mix was to get Neural Parasite, it could be a pretty bad thing. These roaches here on the suicide march, it just looks like they're not going to get away, unfortunately for them. Kind of a cannon fodder move right there from Mix. Meanwhile, 3 weapons has finished, 2 armor on the way out for Soul right now, 2 weapons, 2 ranged weapons even, and 2 armor finished for Mix, who is our Zerg player. These Overlords are actually probably going to manage to escape, apart from this one. Nope, our Overlords are probably going to be able to escape while the Stalkers focus down the hatchery. I'm not sure if Mix is going to need to get the cancel on this. Is he? I think he is. There we go. We do have the cancel gone down. We have seen that FluidSoul has now seen that his opponent has Corruptors on the field. He may actually know about the Great Aspire. These Stalkers, unfortunately for them, will never go home to see their families ever again. But you know what? Let's just have a really, really quick look and see what Soul can see. So Soul knows that there's a Spire on the way. He knows that there's a Hive on the way. The logical step would be Broodlords next. And I think he's clocked it. I think he's seen it. And he's got the Mothership in anticipation for that. And of course, these Archons can be morphed. These High Templars can be morphed into Archons even, and used with the Mothership's Vortex in order to make just an absolutely painful ordeal for Mix's army. Here we go, we do have Zealots coming down in the bottom right hand corner, and these Spine Crawlers are just tearing apart these Zealots right now. Soul trying to do everything in his power to stop this hatchery from coming up in every way he can, but it does look like somewhat of an inevitability at the moment. Meanwhile, we have a DT and Zealot drop here in the main of Mix, and it does actually look, it looks like the Great Aspire is going to go down. The Great Aspire does go down. That's actually quite big. I mean, if Mix wants to carry on making Broodlords, I mean, he has a lot of Broodlords, but if he wants to carry on making Broodlords, he's going to need to build another Spire and a Great Aspire. He's actually going way ahead right now and just building 2 Spires, probably just in case they get sniped again. I don't know where these Spires are. Is that them there? Yeah. And, I mean, he's obviously getting 2 as well, so he can focus on his upgrades and get them twice as fast, and everyone loves doing that. We have 4 Stargates on the way for Soul right now, and now that's probably to come out and build Phoenix against the Broodlords. That's what I would wager on. I mean, we might see some Void Ray play, which is, of course, very, very interesting indeed. And we do just have loads and loads of roaches coming straight into Soul's base right now. He hasn't even clocked them. His army isn't moving just yet or anything. And these roaches are just going to burn through Soul's base. His whole army needs to get in here and mobilize right now. Well, at least quite a lot of his army needs to get in here and mobilize. The Dark Shrine going down for FluidSoul right now. And it's kind of a blow for blow. Mix goes, well, you know what? You take down my Great Aspire, I'm going to take down your Dark Shrine. Meanwhile, we do have DTs moving in right here, taking out the Spires just as they're building. Dual screen on the main right now, I promise it. Oh my goodness. Whew. And Archon's in a Warp Prism. This is getting absolutely crazy. The roaches here doing a fairly nominal amount of damage. Just managing to cause a big distraction and make Soul pull his entire army into his base. And I mean, the big news down here is the Archons and Zealots that are going to be zapping away at the Spine Crawlers right now, and that will be a minor discomfort for Mix. He will probably have to do something about it. And a line of infested Terrans will just come down and probably finish this Archon off. There we are, and it does look like we're going to have our first major engagement of the game over here. Soul using that engagement in the bottom right-hand corner to be a distraction. We do have a Fungal Growth going down on Stalkers right here, and of course, Fungal Growth mixed with Broodlords can be absolutely brutal. A Vortex going down in the middle there from Soul, hoping to catch some of his opponent's Broodlords, but unfortunately, Mix has been way too careful for that. And it looks like this hatchery is going to go down. I really do think that Soul engaged quite well here. He's done his damage, and now he's going to pull back like a champ. That's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that, but he's going to want to be really, really careful to make sure that Mothership does not get caught out. because the mothership moves so much slower than the rest of the Protoss army. I mean, these infestors here, they do have neural parasite. Damn, Soul's army gets vortexed. Psystorm going down on Mix right now. That will help him pull his units away from the mothership, which has been neural parasited. He wants to do another neural parasite on that. Loads of infested Terrans there getting put down. Zerglings going forward. Broodlords firing out their little broodling compatriots. Some infestors there getting completely mullered is a British expression for it. Roaches chucking their acid lava vomit into the crowd, and it just looks like absolute carnage, courtesy of the Broodlords, courtesy of that neural parasite. And I can't think of many things that are scarier than cloaked roaches. Absolute carnage right here. Oh no. You know what, I'll just quickly hold down this, all the bars go away, we can see what's going on. Unbelievable. Soul cannot be happy with this. Nyx is remaxing right now as well. He is at 200 out of 200 supply once again. The Archons here are going to want to be doing something right now. Soul building Void Rays, but will it be enough? I strongly doubt it at the moment. If there's Fungals going to go down here, Fungals are going down on the entire army of Soul as well. Nice blink there by Soul, trying to get underneath the Broodlords, but unfortunately it is a little bit too little, a little bit too late. Oh my goodness, and it does actually look like Soul is more or less getting cleared up right now. Mix just pushing forward with his massive Zerg army that's just remaxing at every turn. He has lost some Overlords here, as we can see. They're probably down to the Overseers, but it definitely looks like Soul is at a massive disadvantage here. Void Rays trying to do their best to clear some of the infestors out, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Fungal growth going down on the Void Ray as well. Broodlords, look at how many broodlings there are. FluidSoul GG's and leaves the game. Oh, ooh. Now that was a crazy one, wasn't it? Oh, blimey. Excellent. Right, so that was game one of the best of three of, let me just get my notes. Oh, so that's round one, best of three, and that was the Group C round two of the UK Starcraft League. Oh yes. What a game, what a game. I mean, the highlight of the game personally for me, let's say the play of the match. Football has, what was it? Man of the match. We can have play of the match. Was when the infestor neural parasited the mothership, and most of FluidSoul's got FluidSoul's army got vortexed. Absolutely painful. Oh my goodness. But that is that. So there we go. So alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Oh my goodness. For those of you who don't watch my channel that often, I've kind of taken a break. It's not really taking a break when you stop to do more work. But just a quick one for the guys who are subscribed to me. I have been very busy because I've got a new job. Yay. And I don't really want it. I want to just do this all day. But unfortunately this doesn't quite pay my bills. So thanks a lot guys for watching. Have a nice day, and I will see you guys next time. Probably in the next segment of this best of three. Ciao.